So we have some really big news coming out about Dragon Age the Veilguard's pre-order numbers, which I know is a hot topic for a lot of people. People are talking about the sales and whatnot and game analytic and all that stuff about their assumptions over how much the game is sold. But I will say one thing before we dive into this particular article. I find it very interesting that they have yet to announce the million units sold mark. They have yet to announce it, which makes me curious as to why that is, because every other company that we know of that has had any sort of controversy, like Silent Hill 2, for example, they have come out and said that they sold 1 million copies as fast as they possibly could, almost immediately. They couldn't wait to come out with it. So the fact that this game has really crazy silence around it, I should say, is very interesting to me. But apparently we have information coming out about this game where about 14% of Dragon Age the Veilguard physical retail orders were reportedly canceled ahead of the game's release for a total pre-order loss of a little less than 200,000 pre-orders.
Who's laughing now?
Now, this is really huge information, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we were hearing about people canceling pre-orders, and again, I don't know why people were pre-ordering this game if they were just going to cancel it anyway, because how could you not have known about this stuff unless you pre-ordered it way back in time? But I mean, the moment they announced this game, it was pretty much obvious where they were going with it direction-wise, and then as more information came out, it just got even worse. But hey, whatever. People decided to pre-order the game, and then almost 200,000 people canceled it. So let's get into it, guys. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. So it says approximately 14% of physical pre-orders for Dragon Age the Veilguard at a national retailer were reportedly canceled in the days leading up to the game's release. YouTuber Endymion revealed that a retail insider shared with him that 956 pre-orders of a total of 6,793 were canceled, of 6,793, or 14%. He wrote on X, so a source who works in the retail space showed me how many pre-orders got canceled for Dragon Age Veilguard in the last few days. This is from a major store with over 900 locations in America. Veilguard pre-orders versus cancellations by platform. Number 1, deluxe Xbox version, 695 pre-orders, 108 canceled. Number 2, normal Xbox copies, 885 pre-orders, 128 canceled. Deluxe PS5 version, 1,872 pre-orders, 254 canceled. Normal PS5 version, 3,341 pre-orders, or 466 canceled. Now, one thing I want to notice is that, wow, Xbox is getting crucified by PS5, but we kind of already knew that. And number 2, that's a lot of canceled pre-orders. I'm actually kind of shocked. So it says, so around 14 to 15% of each version of Veilguard was canceled in the last few days by customers across these 900 stores within America alone. He added, I'm also told by another source pre-orders in general were very, very low, way less than 500K, closer to 200K or less in total. Yikes. Now, again, ladies and gentlemen, there has to be a reason why, like I said at the beginning of the video, why they haven't announced the million sale mark yet. I feel like this kind of game, they would be jumping on it immediately the moment they reached it. And the fact that they're not announcing it a few days after release tells me that they haven't quite hit that yet. And I'm sure it's going to be very similar to Outlaws, where Outlaws took an entire month to hit 1 million sales. But anything after that, it's very clear that they are dragging their foot to the finish line. And I've already said that this game was going to do 1 to 2 million sales by the end of the year. That was my estimate on the game, but it seems like they're struggling. They're struggling to get to 1 million sales, and I actually am pretty damn shocked about. I mean, look at this fucking face, man. My God, I can't. Every time I see Tosh, I think to myself, I'm like, why are we here? Why are we here? We should not be here. You know what I mean? But anyway, in a subsequent post, Endymion clarified, I should reiterate for anyone that these are physical pre-orders, but I'm told in total, with physical and digital, it was nowhere near even 500,000 pre-orders before release. Now, keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, Steam has done almost 500,000 sales at this point, if I'm not mistaken. Steam has almost 500,000 estimated sales, and that also has to kind of go together with the fact that some of those, over 100,000 of those, are free copies, pre-orders, and whatnot. So we don't really know how many are actual sales. We got to imagine definitely over 400K probably at this point. Not quite 500K, but still, there is a massive amount of free codes out there for regular people who are shills. You got friends and family of the developers. You got the actual developers themselves, and everybody banded together to try to get that concurrent number as high as possible. But the sales number is not reflecting it. I'll give you an example. Metaphor Refantasio had a very similar concurrent player count to Dragon Age: The Veilguard. It was about 86,000. And that game announced 1 million sales across all platforms within the first day or so. Like they were immediate with it. So how is it that Dragon Age is not being immediate with it? How is Dragon Age not hitting that number? And I genuinely believe it's because of cancellations. It's because of refunds. Especially refunds are a huge proponent of this conversation, that a lot of people just don't have access to any numbers to prove it. But you got to imagine it's got to be true, because you have this similar concurrent count, and yet we have one person announcing 1 million sales and the other person is not. Then it says, of note, other estimates indicate that total sales for the game on Steam are less than 500,000. Play Tracker estimates the game only has 163,000 copies. VG Insights has the game at 349,800 copies, and Game Analytic estimates that the game has sold 479,500 copies. Now, Game Analytic is always the highest out of every other analytic website and whatnot. So they give the best number for these studios, but I'm starting to believe that they are way too high on this, because they haven't announced a 1 million sale mark. If it was truly at 500,000, you mean to tell me that this game is not at 1 million sales across all, 1 million units sold across all platforms by now, between Xbox, PS5, and Steam? They're not there yet? There's no way. If these are the numbers, and the numbers that we got up top about the physical and digital pre-orders are nearing 500K, then we should have had a million. We should have that already by now. But they're not announcing it. They're not saying it. So it makes it very sus to me. Then it says, furthermore, the game only hit a peak concurrent player count of 89,418 players in its first weekend, and has already seen the peak significantly fall off with the game's first Monday, only hitting 65,639 concurrent players. That's a decline of 26.5%. Well, listen, I've said this many times. If they didn't hit 100K by the weekend, the game was cooked, right? The game was cooked. We kind of already knew that, because what's going to happen is Monday comes and people don't have as much free time, and then the number's going to go down, which is exactly what's happening. The heartbeat was going slightly up until the weekend, and now it's going drastically down, because people just don't have the time. And then on top of that, too, the time they do have, they're not necessarily going to want to spend it playing Veilguard. That's what a lot of people... And this game is being carried by streamers. I'm telling you, this game is carried by streamers, because people are treating this game like a train wreck. People are treating it in the sense of like, I would rather watch it than play it. And that's just something that's been happening. Furthermore, these soft sales estimates and reports of pre-order cancellations appear to align with Bioware and EA's decision to abandon the game and not provide any DLC or expansions. Now, I made a separate video about the whole DLC stuff, so you guys could go check it out. I was honestly very shocked when they said they were going to give this game any DLC. That was extremely shocking to me, but it does show that they don't have any faith in this game, man. It was just a one and done. They wanted to get this game out there, get the message out there, show that Bioware is back, baby. It's a return to form. And by return to form, we mean a transform. That's really all they wanted to say. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it if you get to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.